and welcome to Pale Blue Pod, the astronomy podcast for people who are overwhelmed by the universe but still want to be its friend. I'm your host, Dr. Moiya McTier. I'm an astrophysicist, a folklorist, and a good friend to the universe. We make sure we're both getting our errands done. I am recording from my office here at Pale Blue Podiversity, and I'm expecting a very special guest. Amanda McLoughlin is one of the founders of Multitude, a host of Spirits, Join the Party, and Attach Your Resume, a podcaster extraordinaire, and a media luminary. And Amanda should be here any moment. Actually, I think I hear her walking down the hall now. Amanda, come on in.
Dr. McTier, your office is looking particularly cozy today.
That is how I like to keep it. How are you doing? Is there anything else you would want people to know about you?
No, I'm doing great. I'm a Pisces. I like to look at the stars whenever I can. Having grown up in the suburbs of New York City, it's like a rare treat for me whenever I get to go out and see it. I was telling Dr. McTier via text as I was walking over here, my mom loves the moon and sends me memes about the moon all the time. So if there is a strawberry moon or a harvest moon or a blue moon or a moon that just looks a little weird today, a super moon, oh, it's her favorite, I am definitely going to know about it. And I don't know quite what these things mean and why they happen, but lots of Instagram memes with like a picture of the moon and then some sort of papyrus font over it about believing in yourself.
Wait, I love that so much. Yeah. If any of them feel, like you would like to send them to me one day, please feel free, especially since we're recording this on a full moon.
We sure are.
Under the light of the full moon. Obviously, it's nighttime right now.
Of course. That's only how I podcast. I never podcast during the light of day.
No. The mics are actually afraid of sunlight.
Yeah, they are.
Well, I do have some get-to-know-you questions so the listeners can know you a little bit better before we get into the topic of this episode, which is kind of a news and story roundup about space things more recently. So I have 5 questions for you. Feel free to get as wacky as you want.
Great.
But the first gets a little deep. It's when you think about the vastness of the universe that exists out there, beyond our atmosphere, how do you feel inside?
I feel awe, and I really reflect on the meaning of the word awesome, like those Byronic paintings where you're thinking about the sublime and it's like a Victorian man kind of standing on a cliff looking over the moors and just like the vastness of the world. I've never done that, but I have thought about space, and it makes me feel lucky to be alive and like a roll of the cosmic dice that yielded this organism with this amount of consciousness in this specific atmosphere on this pale blue dot.
Do you feel like that affects your choices or your behaviors? Like how does that work its way into your life philosophy, if at all?
I think it puts into perspective the struggles that human beings face. I feel kind of overwhelmed and hopeless by the state of, society. And it both makes me feel like more small in my problems, but also a bigger sense of urgency to take care of the planet, the ecology, plants and bees and all the things that surround my daily life. And also fellow human beings, because we're here for a temporary amount of time. And I want to make that time work, both me as a person, us as a species, and this planet as a planet.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we're all Earthlings before we're anything else.
Definitely.
Next question. What's your favorite unit of measurement?
Excellent question. My first thought was milliliters, and now I'm trying to ask myself why that was. Maybe because I find test tubes really fun, and as a plant parent, I like to propagate my plants in, little glass test tubes. I think I'm going to go with the milliliter. I find it fun. I like the word meniscus. I was really into learning how to measure in a beaker when we learned that in, chemistry. So let me say the milliliter, not the liter, but the milliliter.
No, the small one, the milliliter.
I like the little guys. Also, Jello shots. I could measure Jello shots in milliliters if I really wanted to.
You're right. The most important thing, that meniscus question, I guess, because when you're filling up the beaker, it can be like a little bit below or a little bit above. So there's a strategy to getting it just right.
I believe the thing we were taught was to measure at the meniscus. So where, get on eye level with it and then have the measurement of exactly where that line touches and not kind of like the higher sides.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it's curved a little bit because water's sticky. It likes to stick to the surfaces around it. Love it. Milliliter's a good one. So you did tell me that you're a Pisces. Do you feel like a Pisces? Do you feel like that's an accurate description?
Yes, I love the water. There are twins in my family, and that's like a thing, Pisces related. I was born moments before the leap year, the leap day of 1992. And so it makes me feel like a bit of a special sort of like liminal space of, almost have a birthday every year, almost have a birthday every 4 years. So that feels quite true to me. And I also love fish. I think they are very charming. As a kid, I hated to fish because like going fishing with my dad because I felt badly for the worms and also the fish. And so if he, really made me fish, then I would, of course, catch and release. So I feel quite connected to the life under the water. And I feel most myself and most like an organism sort of afloat in the universe when I am myself floating in a body of water.
Mm-hmm. I love that you went with the more like symbolic representation of Pisces and not the stereotypes or the personality traits that go along with it. I know very, very little about Pisces.
Same.
But fitting in with the water, I now know a bit more about you as a person.
That's me.
Yay. Amanda, if there was one law of physics that you could change, what would you change?
Very good question. Can you remind me of the existing laws of physics?
Sure. Oh, yeah. I want this to be kind of open. It could be something with gravity. It could be something with the way light works. Like the speed of light is constant in a vacuum. You could change that. You could change the gravity coefficient so it's weaker or stronger. You could change the way fusion works so it's harder for stars to fuse in their cores or something.
Okay. Thank you. I think my first reaction will probably be something around radiation and kind of trying to mitigate the harmful effects of like nuclear reactions and radiation. But I think honestly, what I would give every person the right to do is ease the hold of gravity on their body, or maybe increase it by like 0.5% or 1%, like barely noticeable. But for my friends with like joint pain, imagine if you could just have reality give you a weighted blanket for a minute. Or if reality is pressing on you too much, imagine if you could make yourself a little more buoyant and kind of float through the world a little bit easier. I think that would be really sweet.
Oh, yay. Okay, so like a modular gravity force.
Yes. I think I would give people the ability to maybe, once a week or something like that, have like a variable, like a wild card gravity day.
You are allotted 52 a year.
Just for me, not for everybody else.
Oh, just for you. You get to hand them out.
Just for me. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Maybe it's like a bracelet that affects my, my radius only.
So it's less that you're changing a law of physics and more that you are adding a little caveat for yourself.
I'm making a little me-sized exception is what I would want to do. If we're going for laws overall, I think something about, the decaying of atoms, et cetera, to make nuclear reactions a little bit less scary.
That's a good one. That's a very nice one for the people of the universe. Although,
I try.
In other planetary contexts, maybe that type of radiation is what drives helpful evolution and genetic mutations and stuff. So who knows?
Oh, no. Is the right answer to make no changes at all because of the butterfly effect of changing this universe?
The right answer is that when you're setting laws for the entire universe, it's kind of like capitalism. There are no ethical choices.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Although I think I might choose to play around with time and cool. Change that second law of thermodynamics that says time only goes in one direction.
Why not? Why not?
Why not? Why not? We could do whatever we want.
Big time bisexual. One of us. One of us.
Yes, the arrow of time now is in the bi pride flag colors.
I think so. I think it's a timeline with many arrows on many sides of multiplicitous genders.
Okay, we are at the final question. And for this, you have to imagine you're an astronaut. You're like strapped into your seat about to blast off, but you are in charge of the playlist. So what song are you playing during your launch?
Oh, incredible. It's going to be Freedom by Beyonce, but the Homecoming live version.
Never have I heard a better answer.
Thank you. It's got a driving beat. It's got great lyrics. It's got some sort of like thematic resonance. And overall, I can't think of an artist who deserves to be played as someone literally exits the atmosphere than Beyonce.
Oh my! And like the freedom of exiting the atmosphere and leaving all of this Earth garbage dumpster fire behind. Amazing.
Yep.
Let me get on my little Cowboy Carter soapbox.
Yes, please.
I've now been to Cowboy Carter twice.
Yes,
I have very firm opinions on it. I think Freedom of that entire set list, top three songs from the entire set list.
Let's go.
It's like the third song she plays. She does the American Requiem. She goes into the Star Spangled Banner and then Freedom. Ooh. And every time that transition hits, I feel my soul being opened to connection with the rest of universe and history. Like, it's amazing.
Yep. Which includes Beyonce.
Yes, it does. Oh, I felt so connected
with
to her
as part of the universe. So good.
Oh, I love her so much. Great choice. Thank you. I feel like I know you a little bit better now.
Aw, thank you.
Yay.
This is like reverse office hours where you ask me questions and I'm the visitor. It's great.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. You know, we like to do things different here at the Podiversity. Switch things up. So we're here to talk about some recent space news stories, any memes that have come up. I have 5 stories for you that I've prepared. And then 2 came up this morning where like people texted me some things. And I was like, maybe we'll bring that up if we have time.
Amazing.
But I have like kind of weird clickbaity article titles for each of these 5 stories. I'm going to read them all to you and you get to choose the order. You can tell me which one you want to hear.
Incredible. Let's go.
Great. Okay, so the 5 that you can choose from are first, Hungry Hungry Telescope Eyes Galactic Feast.
Okay.
Second, Battle of the Car Dealers. Third, and we're back in the 70s.
Okay.
Fourth, leave her alone. Can't you see she's had enough? And finally, nobody likes a show off, even on the edge of the solar system.
Very good. It's really grabbing at me. I do just also have to give listeners the context that we are also recording not just on a full moon, but on the birthday of Thailand's queen, Moo Deng. And so I am going to be ranking these headlines in the order with which I think Moo Deng would care about them. And if you know anything about Moo Deng, you know that she is a slippery, hungry queen. So we are going to begin with Hungry Hungry Telescope.
I love this so much. Okay, so the Hungry Hungry Telescope is the Cosmos Web. It's this kind of collaboration within the James Webb Space Telescope community. They're like gathering a bunch of different types of data and mosaicing it for this Cosmos Webb picture, which has revealed a feast of new galaxies in a tiny patch of the sky. Do you remember the Hubble Deep Field image?
I sure do. We saw it together.
Yes, we did. So for those of you who aren't familiar, the Hubble Deep Field image was this project that the Hubble director kind of had to like beg to do or use his director powers to do, where he stared Hubble at a patch of sky that was empty, that was seemingly empty, and we didn't think there would be anything there. But when you stare at it for long enough and you collect enough photons, you see that there are galaxies everywhere. There were like hundreds of galaxies in that one little image. This Cosmos Webb image reveals thousands of galaxies. It combines Hubble and JWST data, and they took this picture over 255 hours.
Oh my goodness. It's like at night when you take a photo with your phone and has you hold still for a moment, but for 250 hours. That's insane.
Yes. Not continuously. It was in snapshots, but 255 hours is a lot of data. And they had 3 different science goals for this mission. They wanted to be able to map the universe in its earliest stages. They wanted to trace the evolution of massive galaxies, which they can do by looking at the massive galaxies that we have today and staring at this picture, which is a picture of really distant objects, which means it's objects many, many years ago, because it takes light time to travel to us. So we can compare those 2 moments in time and get a sense for how it evolved along that track.
That's so cool. Moiya, do you sometimes think about the fact that if someone were far enough away, they could see a sort of time lapse of you over your entire life? You know, like with the granularity, right? Like in theory, that could be possible.
Yes.
If they were advancing or if they were standing still and then the light is passing them, they could see snapshots of the Moiya of 20 years ago and 10 years ago and 2 minutes ago.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like to think that there are so many people in the Proxima Centauri system, in the Alpha Centauri system, that they just look at us and they each follow us, you know, like man-to-man defense. And so I like to think there is someone on Proxima Centauri who's just been tracking me for 30 years.
I mean, when you put it like that, it sounds a little creepy, but love it. Now, may I ask a question? Are these galaxies described as a feast in poetic language or because something is eating them?
Oh, in poetic language. That's a good question. Some of these galaxies are kind of eating each other. They are close enough together that they are being gravitationally attracted to each other. And the bigger more massive galaxies in that situation have the upper hand, and they can use their gravity to kind of rip apart the smaller galaxies and absorb their gas and stars for their own.
Like extractive capitalism. Having more makes you get more.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. We can't escape it. It's everywhere.
I know. Sorry.
It's okay. Cosmos Web is also going to be able to tell us more about how dark matter works and how it affects the behavior of visible matter just by seeing more visible matter and being able to trace how it moves through space.
So cool. And what are the institutions collaborating on this project?
Hubble and JWST are both NASA projects, but they collaborate with scientists all over the world. So I know that there are European scientists. I know that there are some scientists in Australia who are working on this, but it's pretty broad.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's Cosmos Web, the Hungry Hungry Telescope.
Absolutely incredible.
What do you think Moo Deng would want to hear next?
It's going to be leave her alone, Moiya, because sometimes Moo Deng is out there, having a day and her keepers are trying to give her a bath or, rinse her off. And she's had enough. And so she bite or she kick, and she just wants to be left alone.
Oh my gosh, yes, it sounds like sometimes Moo Deng reaches her Eddington limit, which is what this new quasar, it's actually a very, very old quasar, what this very, very old quasar has reached.
Cool.
The quasar is called PG 1211 plus 143.
PG to her friends.
PG to her friends, yes. That's a combination of when it was discovered and its coordinates out in space. But PG has reached its Eddington accretion limit or Eddington luminosity limit. This is a theoretical limit calculated by Sir Arthur Eddington. He realized that when you have a black hole out in space and it's using its gravity to gather more material is accreting onto it. That's making the black hole more massive, which is giving it more energy. As you drop more material onto a black hole, it gets brighter because there's more energy in the system. But brightness, light, has kind of like a force of its own. If you get enough brightness, just like in a star, you get pressure pushing outwards from all of the radiation that is causing the light. Does that make sense?
It does. So you're almost eating too much that you can't hold it anymore, or there's some kind of push and pull between the force that brought it in and the stuff that's in it now.
It is, yes, it's very much like eating too much, and then you kind of have to release that. Well, the quasar has reached the point of release. In this case, instead of throwing up, it just starts blowing a bunch of material away from the outer edge of this quasar. And so it's this weird balancing act where if it gains too much material, it will start sloughing off that material. And we see this happening in real time with PG. We've been studying PG since 2001. It's 100 million times the mass of the sun.
Oh my.
For reference, the black hole at the center of our Milky Way galaxy is only about 4 million times the mass of the sun.
Oh,
and the
easy.
most tiny, light work. And the biggest black hole we've ever discovered is more than 60 billion times the mass of the sun. So PG is right there in the middle.
That's amazing. What is the black hole? If it's parts, the sort of the George Washington's Vax or whatever, the ship of Theseus, what is the it there if it is consistently absorbing and then sloughing off the matter that it's bringing in?
It's not consistently sloughing off. Most black holes, before they get to this limit, they're just accepting things. They're just eating. It's only once they reach this mass limit that they start.
And their tummy's too full. Yeah.
And I do think that it has to do with the rate of infall, because there are these extra massive black holes that they haven't reached that limit, right? And so it has to do with your size and location. But something about PG is its mass and its orientation. It's saying this is enough. I think when you get other black holes that are even more massive and they have even more energy, they do these special jets, we call them. It's these bright beams of light that shoot out from either side of the black hole. PG is already doing that. That's why we call it a quasar. A quasar is a black hole that has these really bright jets of light coming off of it that we can see. And they're some of the brightest objects in the entire universe.
Cool.
But I guess even after that point, you need a way to release the energy.
Right on.
Yeah. So we're learning in real time what it's like for a black hole to reach its limit.
Extremely metal.
Yes. it's me. Amanda is saying hi to the plants in my office garden. It has herbs and fruits and veggies and trailing vines, which are my favorite plants. They are all both real and imagined. Right now, she's sniffing the pearlescent 7-leaf clovers that I transported into reality from a dream I once had. But she's going to do that, and I'm going to take this opportunity to share some messages with you. The first is a thank you to all of my patrons who support the show financially. As an independent podcaster, it would be a lot harder to make this show without your support, so thank you all so much. And I want to give a special thank you and a shout out to my sun-like stars, Scott Reynolds, Tom T., Nicole Bartlett, and Ashley Shambo. I hope your hydrogen is tasting extra yummy today. You can hear your name on the show, make it to my Patreon star chart, and get research notes for most episodes for $5 a month at patreon.com/palebluepod. Hotter tiers like my sun-like stars get access to Pale Blue Pod at night, where I read bedtime stories in a calm, soothing voice. There should be a new one coming out this week. I've been on a book deadline, so I've been slacking there. I'm sorry, but get with it and sign up so you can hear the Pale Blue Pod at nights that I have already been reading. Even brighter tiers like my Blue Giant stars get to see videos of episode recordings. So what are you waiting for? Sign up right now at patreon.com/palebluepod. I'm also offering an annual membership at any tier, so you can get a 13% discount for the whole year. You know it's true because it rhymed. But really, I would appreciate any support you could give. And I would recommend that you listen to some other shows in the Multitude Collective, like Join the Party. Join the Party is an actual play podcast with tangible worlds, genre-pushing storytelling, and collaborators who make each other and the listeners laugh each week. GM Eric and the emphatic players Amanda, yes, the very Amanda who is on this episode, as well as Brendan and Julia welcome everyone to the table, from longtime TTRPG players to folks who have never touched a role-playing game before in their lives. You can hop into their current campaign, which is the drama and excitement of a superhero high school. It's told through the game Masks, and they're going to teach you everything you need to know about the game to enjoy the story. You could also marathon their completed stories. Campaign 3 was a pirate story set in a world of plant and bug folk that the GM Eric built themselves. And the second campaign was a modern superhero game. They also had a Monster of the Week style game set in a weird summer camp. And their first campaign was a high fantasy story for fans of the classics. So what are you waiting for? Pull up a chair and join the party by searching for Join the Party in your favorite podcast app or by going to jointhepartypod.com. That link is also down in the episode description, so you don't have to look very hard for it. Okay, Amanda picked some of the fruit that looks like a purple strawberry but tastes like dappled starlight. So we're going to wash and eat those, and then we'll get back to these news stories. What next?
Next, we are going to go to Nobody Likes a Show Off, because that is, I'm in the Instagram comments. I see people saying that from time to time on Moo Deng's posts, and I go in and argue with them personally. So that's next.
Yes. I personally would love to see Moo Deng show off even more.
Oh my God. One time she wore a leaf on her head, by which I mean a leaf fell on her head, and there was photos of her walking around with like a little leaf hat. And I think about it like every 2 to 3 hours.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Yes. Perhaps less cute is this comet coming in from the outer edge of our solar system known as the Oort cloud. And this comet has some unexpected chemical activity going on in it. The comet is called C2014 UN 271, so it was discovered in 2014. The nickname for it is the Bernardinelli-Bernstein comet, which is like the two people who discovered it. It's 85 miles wide, or 137 kilometers.
Wow. Small for space, big for us.
Exactly. Bigger than the asteroid that killed most of the dinosaurs. So it's a big chonker out there.
Like Moo Deng.
Like Moo Deng. Yes, Moo Deng would love this. Have you heard of the Oort cloud before?
Yes. And I did want to ask if you sometimes picture orcs, the fantasy race, and just a whole just like cloud of them kind of like hovering a little bit with their axes, just being like, wah.
I never have before, but I will now.
Okay, good.
I think the Oort cloud was named for like Jan Oort, this Dutch astronomer who discovered it. But it's huge. Okay, so Earth is 1 astronomical unit from the sun. That's just like a useful unit for us to use.
It's the foot of space. It's like, what foot? My foot. Mine.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's our foot. We are 1 Earth foot away from the sun. Pluto is about 50 Earth feet away from the sun. Mm-hmm. The Oort cloud starts at 2,000 AU and goes out to at least 5,000 astronomical units, Earth feet. So the Oort cloud is really big. It's where a lot of the debris that formed early on in our solar system but didn't make it into the sun or any of the planets, that's where it's hanging out. Mm-hmm. So there are so many chunks of rock that orbit out there, and occasionally they have gravitational interactions that send them closer towards Earth, like towards the inner solar system.
Was that like a really rich source of data for early astronomers learning about how the universe began?
We couldn't really see it until we got advanced enough telescopes. Mm-hmm. So it probably did help us learn about planet formation, but we were studying the planets long before we were studying the Oort cloud.
Word.
Like even through telescopes and with science, we were studying them before the Oort cloud. Yeah.
Cool.
But this comet, C2014, is 10 times bigger than the average comet, which makes it easier to see and study. It is the most massive comet actually coming out of the Oort cloud that we have studied to date, and it is moving at about 22,000 miles per hour towards the sun. It is currently closer to us than Neptune is.
That's close.
It's very close. And I want to stress that we're not in danger from this comet. It's not one of the ones that's on a collision course with Earth or anything. It's just really big. And because it's so big, it has a lot of material trapped inside it. And as it gets closer to the sun, the outer layers of ice and rock are going to evaporate away, revealing some of the material trapped inside this comet. And that's what we're studying here. We can see like the tail of gas coming off this comet, and we can actually analyze the components of that gas through the ALMA telescope. This is a giant array of radio dishes working together down in Chile. I've been there. It's so cool.
So cool.
The dishes are huge. And so with this giant array of satellite dishes, we have seen a lot of carbon monoxide coming off of this comet. And that will tell us how common carbon monoxide is in the outer solar system.
Cool. And is that the unexpected chemical reaction?
I think it's just unexpected to be able to study these comets in the way that we can because it's so large. And so we don't know much about the chemical composition of things in the Oort cloud because it's so far away. So when this big thing comes closer to us, it just gives us a proxy of understanding.
That's awesome. Will anyone on Earth be able to see this comet as it passes us with the naked eye?
No, not with the naked eye, definitely. I think with some mid-range telescopes, you might be able to see it as it gets closer.
Cool. Well, I'll wait eagerly for photos.
That would be nice. I don't know what its trajectory is. I don't know how much closer it's going to come to us. It could very well, orbit closer than Neptune and then do a wide swing around the entire solar system. So, yes, we'll see.
Very cool.
Such a show-off.
Such a show-off. Next, Moiya, I'm a little torn between back in the 70s and car dealers. I think, which is the least Moo Deng? I feel like Moo Deng would have no patience for cars, so let's go back in the 70s first.
I'm liking your logic here. So, I was not alive in the 70s. You were not alive in the 70s. But one thing that I've heard about them is that people were talking a lot about the ozone layer.
Oh, yes.
And the fact that there was this big hole in the ozone layer because of the chemicals that we were putting in our hairspray and pesticides and everything.
That's right. And yet my parents, saw those headlines in Time and Life and decided, I don't need to wear sunscreen.
No. I'm
fine.
No, we're fine. The sun it's always been there. We're fine. I actually just started rewatching MacGyver, the original MacGyver.
Oh, yeah.
Which started in 1985. And there's an episode early on, in the first season, where MacGyver has to stop this big weapon thing that is, its point is to destroy the ozone layer.
Cool.
And MacGyver's like, we just fixed They're like, we just learned, like, what's happening? Why are we trying to... So, whatever. Back to the 70s when we were caring a lot about the ozone layer. We might be returning. So there's a team of researchers that were looking at how many rockets we're launching per year and predicting how many rockets we will be launching per year in 2030. Mm-hmm. And with all of the emissions that are put out during your average rocket launch, it seems like we need to start thinking about the impact they'll have on the ozone layer.
I got it.
Conservative estimates say that we will be launching about 900 rockets per year in 2030. But the more realistic estimates put it at over 2,000. We are currently launching about 300 rockets per year.
That's so many.
It's so many.
That's way more than I would have guessed.
Mm-hmm. We launch rockets all the time to fuel satellites, to fix satellites, to put stuff up on the ISS, to launch billionaires and their friends a little bit into the atmosphere. And it's just getting more common. So this paper, which was a Nature article from a couple months ago, tried to simulate what the effect on the atmosphere would be at that 2,000 launches per year limit. And it seems like with the fuels that we're currently using, the ozone layer would thin by about 1/3% with 2,000 rocket launches per year. And that's just an average. The ozone layer is naturally thinner and more vulnerable at the poles. I'm not totally sure why. I would guess something to do with magnetic activity. But at the poles, it seems like those rocket launches could deplete the ozone layer by almost 4%.
Oh my gosh. And is it safe to assume that it takes longer to renew the ozone layer than it does to harm it?
Correct. Yeah, it is much harder to undo the damage than to do the damage.
In so many ways, in so many things.
Yes. And so I think that people are going to try and find better fuel sources for rockets. I think that there might be this movement to make our rocket launches more efficient in their planning. You know, if you can send up 2 payloads with one rocket launch.
That's carpool, baby.
Yeah, carpool, exactly. So, yeah, we might find ourselves back in the 70s soon. I hope we don't. We have done a lot in bringing the ozone layer back. We have, over the last 30 years, dropped 99% of the ozone-depleting chemicals and the chlorofluorocarbons that we were putting up into the atmosphere. But that was through policy work over a couple decades, which means we need to start working on those policies for rocket launches, like yesterday.
How would a sort of upcoming class war assist in these efforts? Would that be good? Sort of help, like, maybe the billionaires be distracted, do other things?
Yeah, probably. A lot of this rocket launching is not being driven by research institutions. Space launches have moved very close to being fully commercial these days. Even if we are launching a rocket ostensibly for NASA or something, they're paying a private space company to do it for them.
All right, I'll work on that. I'll get back to you.
Well, yeah, let's get moving on that class war thing. I think, a few of the first shots have already been fired.
We're trying out here. Which brings us, Dr. McTier, to, speaking of class war, the car dealers.
Oh, yes. I'm very excited about this because I love when SpaceX fails.
Yay!
So there are two
class war.
Yes, it was timely. So there are 2 prongs to this story. The first is that Honda, yes, like the car dealership Honda, has launched and landed its own reusable rocket for the first time.
Okay.
And this comes amidst a series of failures for SpaceX rocket launches. Where no one has been hurt. And so I'm laughing because no one has been hurt. But on June 17th, Honda launched their prototype reusable rocket. It did a completely vertical takeoff, was in the air for 56 seconds, and then landed back on a pre-described base.
Wow.
It reached an altitude of 890 feet and touched down just 15 inches away from its intended target.
That's so good. Oh, my God. Honda engineers, you deserve a fruit bowl. Oh, my God.
That's your reward of choice. Yes.
It's Moo Deng Day, Moiya.
Oh, of course.
Let's not forget.
My bad. They deserve a fruit bowl and a little leaf hat.
Exactly.
Because that's so impressive. The rocket weighed almost 2,000 pounds, just the rocket itself. And then there was an additional almost 900 pounds just of fuel.
Wow.
Yes. When you see the weight listed for a rocket, they'll list its dry weight and its wet weight, and the wet weight is with fuel.
Just like Moo Deng for real. Like, I know I'm saying this a lot, but that's just like Moo Deng for real.
What's Moo Deng's wet weight?
Slightly more than her dry weight.
Slightly more than. How much does a baby hippo weigh?
I think she reached about 20 kilograms after like 2 months. So at birth, I think she was something around like 20, 25 pounds.
Okay. Wow. Oh, they're so cute and chunky.
I know.
I love it.
So chunky.
I love it. Honda has been working on its reusable rockets since at least 2021. That's when they announced that they were going to pivot intentionally towards doing more space stuff. And they're saying now that they hope to have a suborbital launch. So they're not getting quite up to the International Space Station, but they're getting to the top of the atmosphere by 2029.
Is it sad that you said suborbital launch and I said, oh, like Katy Perry and the women?
Not sad. She deserves that. That's the public shaming we should bring back. You did not go to space, Katy Perry.
You did a suborbital launch.
Or Gail. You did not. You didn't go to space. You're not astronauts.
I have more forgiveness in my heart for Gail than I do for Katy Perry.
That's fair. I do not. But I'm glad that there are people out there giving someone grace. And I just love that Honda is having this success on the back of SpaceX continuing to blow up a lot of their rockets. One of SpaceX's Starships exploded during a routine test. It didn't even launch. It was on the stand, on the ground, and it exploded last month. Yeah, it was embarrassing. Musk claimed that it was a nitrogen storage failure, which it may have been, but that doesn't excuse the fact that it was SpaceX's fourth explosion in a row for the Starship rockets.
Bummer. I also particularly enjoy that Honda is a well-established company, a good employer from all reports that I've learned, and produce reasonable, reliable cars that get your auntie to work safely. You know?
Yes. There's clearly a winner here. Although I will say SpaceX was one of the pioneers in this. Reusable rockets started with the space shuttle in 1981. So it's not like Elon Musk had nothing to do with that. But it really took off in 2014 when SpaceX had their Falcon ships that kind of pioneered the controlled landing of an intact rocket back on its base. So, I'll give them some of their flowers. But it is amazing to see another company coming up and giving them a run for their money.
If we're living in a capitalist hellscape, I sure as shit want to see competition make Elon Musk lose some money.
Absolutely. If Elon Musk has no haters, I'm certainly dead. And I think a lot of other people are too.
Yeah. I mean, my tombstone might say Elon Musk's dad mined apartheid emeralds, just to remind people, just for the rest of time. Yeah.
Put that tombstone in steel.
Exactly. I'll etch it in a gold disc.
Love it. Send it out to space. Yes. I got it. Don't you worry. Those were the 5 stories that I had prepared. And then there were 2 that came up this morning. One, are we living inside a black hole?
Ooh.
Have you heard of this?
No.
Okay, so 2 of my friends sent me a text this morning that was like, Moiya, are we living inside a black hole? And I was like, excuse me, what? No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But I looked into the article that they sent me, which was written by a computer scientist, not an astronomer.
Okay.
But, theoretically, there is the possibility that our Big Bang was really just like the implosion of a massive star, perhaps, that created a black hole. And our entire universe is nestled within that black hole.
Okay.
We don't have any data that could prove or disprove that. I think the reason they thought that was because when we look out, I think in JWST data, and we measure the direction of motion for lots of distant galaxies, they seem to all be moving in a preferred direction, clockwise versus anti-clockwise. And one of the tenets of space research is that we're not special. We're not in the middle of something. We don't have a beneficial perspective on the universe. We're just in a random spot. So it should look the same everywhere, but it should have random motion.
Interesting.
There are lots of other reasons that we might be measuring consistent motion for distant galaxies. It could be an artifact of our own galaxy's rotation. It could be an artifact of the telescope that they are using to take this data. I think it's quite a large leap to go from, hey, it looks like a lot of galaxies are moving in the same direction to we're living inside a black hole.
Right.
But at the end of the day, how would we know?
We wouldn't know. And moreover, would it affect us at all? Would it affect our daily lives?
Exactly. It wouldn't. And those are the kinds of questions that, I'm happy to let other people explore. I'll think about them for a couple of minutes and then I'll realize it doesn't really matter for life here.
Pretty cool. Still kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, very interesting to think about. So if your friends are sending you texts saying hey, scientists think we live inside a black hole. No, this one computer scientist thinks that it's possible we might.
Do you ever think about how easy it would be to start a kind of clickbait, news cycle, republishing the same press release sort of fervor?
Yes. Yeah.
If
I had no integrity, the misinformation I would spread, the ways I would weave mysticism and science to really just create a foothold on a bunch of people. Yeah.
You could.
But I do have integrity, so I won't.
Every day you choose to use your powers for good, and I think that's beautiful.
Yes. I was a Girl Scout, so they taught me well.
You have to leave the universe better than you found her, and you are.
Yes, and I am. The other little story is that the Earth's days are getting slightly shorter. Have you heard this?
Oh, no, I have not.
Ever so slightly shorter. We are still in this long trend of Earth's days getting longer. About 500 million years ago, a day on Earth was only 22 hours.
Okay,
and
wait, that's wild.
Really?
I didn't know that. That seems like such a huge difference for a small amount of time relative to how old the Earth is.
Did I say 500 million years?
Yeah.
And that's a short amount of time for you.
It is.
I
guess versus, our planet, sure, but the universe, yes. I don't know. Just 2 hours and 500 million years. I'm like, whoa, slow down.
Yeah. We lose about 1.8 milliseconds, which is not quite a milliliter. It's on the same level.
They're cousins.
Yes. Milliseconds every century.
Wow.
Because of gravitational interactions between the moon and the Earth. So the tidal forces that create ocean tides are also stealing a little bit of our rotational energy, causing the Earth to slow down.
Whoa. That's so trippy, man.
Very trippy. And that is the long-term trend, but things are reversing a little bit. Starting in 2020, we noticed that the rotation is actually starting to speed up. So on July 9th, it was on record one of the shortest days in Earth's recent history since we started measuring these things in the 80s.
Now, is this why it feels like we live approximately a year of news every 2 weeks? Because we are, in fact, fitting more things into fewer minutes per day.
I think I wish we could blame it on that. I really do. Instead of just the capitalist hellscape we find ourselves in. It is a very tiny difference. July 9th was 1.47 milliseconds shorter than the average 24 hours.
Cool.
So it's not noticeable and it's stochastic. It's not a continuing trend like Earth's days getting longer. Mm-hmm. But over the next few months, we are going to have 3 of the shortest days on Earth's record over the last several decades. And we don't really know why. It could be another weird consequence of this exchange of gravitational energy between the Earth and the moon. The moon drags us a lot, but it could also pull us along depending on where it is in its orbit. But there are some Earth things that could make the difference too. We don't totally understand our magnetic field. Mm-hmm. We don't totally understand our core and our mantle and the interactions between those two things. So maybe something is sloshing around in our mantle that's changing our rotation rate. It could also be, unfortunately, the melting of the polar ice caps, which changes the mass distribution of the Earth and would change how we rotate.
Got it.
Yeah. But days are getting shorter, technically. Technically, we have less time today to do the many, many things we need to do than we did yesterday.
Which means you have to make every millisecond count to foment class war.
Yes. Thank you. I was looking for a lesson in that. I'm glad you found it.
Mm-hmm. Always comes back to Moo Deng and class war.
Mm-hmm. That is a great theme for this episode. A great parting lesson. So that's all I had. Those are the two stories that came up today. Have you seen anything recently in space news?
I have not seen much in space news. Let me actually pull up my mom's Instagram to see what moon memes most recently made their way to me. Okay, so Moiya, today we had a post of a moon looking orange, and it said, "Talk to the moon, tell the universe exactly what you want. The universe isn't on a budget."
That's so true.
That's just more kind of general using the moon for inspiration. But we had, if you're reading this before July 10th, save this. On July 10th, 2025, we will witness the beautiful full moon in Capricorn, a buck moon. The name buck moon comes from the time of year when bucks grow new antlers, symbolizing renewal, growth, and inner strength. Now, is this cosmically true?
As a Capricorn who loves a full moon, I'm going to say yes. I've just got to say, I'm feeling very strong today. Oh, maybe I'll go to the gym and try to up my squat PR or something.
Oh, yeah. See how that treats you. And then I have a very handy infographic guide to the remaining full moons of 2025. So we have, of course, today's buck moon. We have August 9th, the sturgeon moon, like the fish.
Love.
Cool.
Like the fish, yes, because that's when the fish come back.
Oh, right on. September 7th, a blood moon eclipse. Tell me about her.
We love a blood moon eclipse. A blood moon is a lunar eclipse because it looks red, and that's because the Earth is between the sun and the moon, and the sun's light goes through Earth's atmosphere. A lot of the higher energy blue and green light gets filtered out, and it's the red light that is reflected onto the moon.
Extremely rad. We have the first supermoon of the year on October 7th. Now, is this something to do with the atmosphere making the moon look larger?
The moon is actually closer to us.
Oh, rad.
Yeah. It is an optical illusion that makes it look so much bigger, but it technically is closer and bigger by a couple percent.
Cool. We have on November 5th, the biggest and brightest moon of the year, but it's not labeled as a supermoon, and I don't know why. Looks kind of yellowish in this photo. And then December 4th is the last supermoon of the year.
Yeah, they come in threes typically because of the moon's orbit is not a perfect circle. Sometimes it's closer to us, sometimes it's further away, and it stays close to us for a little bit.
Cool. And then at the bottom it just says, "Happy moon gazing." So that's the note I'm happy to end on here.
That's beautiful. Happy moon gazing, everyone.
Yeah.
Amanda, I would love for you to brag about yourself. Tell us what you're working on and where we can find you online.
Cool. Thanks. I'm running a podcast business that centers artists and workers in 2025, which, is a time. So if you're enjoying Pale Blue Pod, if you like the work that Dr. McTier is doing, you're going to love the work that all of the other brilliant hosts, which are we're about 50% PhDs at this point, at Multitude are doing. So go to multitude.productions and check out all of the fabulous member shows that we've got, including my own, where you can hear Moiya as a guest on Spirits pretty frequently, and you can hear me try to embody different parts of the universe as we play super-powered teenagers and join the party.
Yes. Of all of the podcasts I listen to regularly, your voice is on a solid fifth of them.
Oh, thank you so much. Recently I met somebody who said I have a great voice for radio, and I'm like, is that a comment about my face? I don't know, but I will take it. Thank you so much.
No, you'd have a great voice for radio and also a great face for TV.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Radio plus TV equals digital media.
Hey, it all comes full circle. Oh, okay. Well, are there any links or social handles you would want to share?
Yes, I am She's So Mickey on Instagram and Amanda MC on Blue Sky, where I mostly post about my garden.
Hey, we love it. Your tomatoes are lovely, I will say.
Thank you so much. I also love that in this Zoom setup, my pothos and your beautiful purple flowers look like they are two halves of the same plant.
It's so nice.
It's so cute.
Oh, okay. Well, listeners, no matter how many plants you're surrounded by, you are still space. Bye.
Bye.
Pale Blue Pod is hosted by me, Dr. Moiya McTier, a.k.a. the universe's bestie. I created the show with original co-host Corinne Caputo, a comedienne extraordinaire, and help from the Multitude Productions team. Our theme music is by Evan Johnston, and our cover art is by Shay McLoughlin, and our audio editing is handled by the incomparable Misha Stanton. I am Go Astro Mo everywhere online, and you can stay in touch with the show and the universe by following Pale Blue Pod on Instagram or checking out our website, palebluepod.com. We are a member of Multitude, an independent podcast collective and production studio. So if you like Pale Blue Pod, you will love the other shows that live at multitude.productions. And if you want a shout out on the show and research notes for every episode, you can join our community over at patreon.com/palebluepod for just about $1 per episode. Thank you so much for listening to Pale Blue Pod. I'll be back next week. Bye.